friends, in this video I am going to discuss about complex numbers. Under complex numbers, the various topics I am going to discuss are meaning of complex numbers, conjugate and modulus of a complex number, and various powers of I. In our earlier classes, we used to solve any quadratic equation of the form ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. For solving this quadratic equation, the first step we do is we will find the discriminant d. The discriminant d is given by d is equal to b square minus 4ac. So, we will find the value of the discriminant d is equal to b square minus 4ac and check whether it is greater than or equal to 0. If the value of b square minus 4ac is not greater than or equal to 0, that is, if it is less than 0, then we say the given equation has no real roots. Now, in real life problems, it is not always necessary that the quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0 will have real roots. There are situations where the value of b square minus 4ac becomes less than 0. In those situations, it becomes necessary to find the solution for these equations. It is in these places that the complex numbers comes into play. So here, let us take an example. Let us consider the equation x square plus 1 is equal to 0. For this, if we want to find the discriminant, b square, b is 0, 0 minus 4ac is equal to minus 4, it is less than 0. So hence, this equation x square plus 1 is equal to 0 does not have any real roots. So it is not necessary that we can just stop here. We can extend our real number system to the next number system, which is the complex number system. So there x square plus 1 has imaginary roots or complex roots. So we can write x square is equal to minus 1. Again, in our earlier classes, we have always studied that the square of a number is non-negative. The square of a real number is non-negative. When the square of a number is negative, we call those numbers complex numbers or imaginary numbers, and we denote it as I. So, I is nothing but it signifies imaginary numbers or complex numbers. So, any numbers which has I, we call it an imaginary number. So, the solution for this equation is x square is equal to minus 1 or x is equal to plus or minus square root of minus 1, which is equal to plus or minus I. So, I is nothing but square root of minus 1. So, the complex numbers are an extension of real numbers. When we are obtaining the solution for x square plus 1 equal to 0, we get x is equal to plus or minus I. This I is nothing but it is a notation for a complex number or an imaginary number. Now, any complex number z is expressed in the form a plus ib, where a and b are real numbers. In this, a is called the real part of z and b is called the imaginary part of z. Next, for any two complex numbers, z1 is equal to a plus ib and z2 is equal to c plus id, we have z1 equal to z2 if a equal to c and b equal to d. In other words, if any two complex numbers are equal, then their corresponding real parts are equal and imaginary parts are equal. Next, let us see a small example. The question says, if 3x plus I into 4x minus y is equal to 4 plus I into minus 5, where x and y are real, find x and y. Now let us consider the left hand side as z1. Let us take z1 is equal to 3x plus I into 4x minus y, and z2 as 4 plus I into minus 5. It is given that z1 equal to z2, and we are asked to find x and y. We know that if z1 is equal to z2, then the real part of z1 and z2 are equal, and imaginary part of z1 and z2 are equal. Now what is the real part of z1? The real part of z1 is 3x and the real part of z2 is 4. So we can equate 3x and 4. So from this we get x is equal to 4 by 3. Similarly, if two complex numbers are equal, their imaginary parts are also equal. The imaginary part of z1 is 4x minus y and the imaginary part of z2 is minus 5. So we can equate these two. 4x minus y is equal to minus 5. From this we can get the value of y. We already got the value of x as 4 by 3. I am substituting x is equal to 4 by 3 here. Minus y is equal to minus 5. From this I get 16 by 3 plus 5 is equal to y. I am taking 5 here and bringing y this side. So minus 5 becomes plus 5 and minus y becomes plus y. So I'm writing this as y is equal to 16 by 3 plus 5, which is equal to 16 plus 15 by 3. I'm taking 3 as LCM. This is equal to 31 by 3. So we have obtained x is equal to 4 by 3 and y is equal to 31 by 3. So this is how we use the property that if two complex numbers are equal, then their real parts are equal and imaginary parts are equal. Using this, we have found x and y. Now next we will see the conjugate and modulus of a complex number. Now what is conjugate of a complex number? The conjugate of a complex number z is equal to a plus ib is given by z bar is equal to a minus ib. It is denoted by z bar. Now let us see the use of the conjugate of a complex number. In our earlier classes, we were asked to simplify an expression of the form, let us take 1 by 3 plus root 2. When we were asked to simplify an expression of the form 1 by 3 plus root 2, what we will usually do? We will multiply and divide this by 3 minus root 2. On simplifying, we will get 3 minus root 2 divided by 3 square minus root 2 square, because this is of the form a plus b into a minus b, which is nothing but a square minus b square. So upon simplification, we will get 3 minus root 2 divided by 9 minus 2. This is equal to 3 minus root 2 by 7. So we will always see to it that the denominator is a whole number. So hence, in complex number system also, it becomes necessary to see to it that the denominator becomes a whole number. In those cases, what we will do? We will multiply and divide the given complex number by its conjugate. While doing problems, you will be able to understand in a better way how this conjugate is used. Now next we have the modulus of a complex number. The modulus of a complex number z is given by mod z is equal to square root of a square plus b square. Also we can write z into z bar is equal to this mod of z the whole square. Now let us see how z into z bar is equal to mod of z the whole square. We know that z is equal to a plus ib and z bar is equal to a minus ib. So z into z bar is equal to a plus ib into a minus ib. As you all know, this is of the form a plus b into a minus b, which is a square minus b square. So this is a square minus I square into b square. We already know that I is square root of minus 1 and I square is minus 1. So we are substituting here. We get a square and I square is minus 1 into b square. This is equal to a square plus b square. We saw just now the modulus of the complex number z is equal to square root of a square plus b square. So a square plus b square is equal to modulus of z the whole square. So this is how we have got z into z bar is equal to this mod of z the whole square. Now we will see some of the properties of conjugate of a complex number. These are the properties of a conjugate of a complex number. That is mod of z1 bar plus or minus z2 bar is equal to z1 plus or minus z2 the whole bar. Then z1 bar into z2 bar is equal to z1 into z2 the whole bar. The next one is z1 by z2 the whole bar is equal to z1 bar by z2 bar if z2 not equal to 0. Similarly, for modulus of a complex number also we have few properties. That is mod of z1 into z2 is equal to mod of z1 into mod of z2, and mod of z1 divided by z2 is equal to mod of z1 divided by mod of z2, provided z2 is not equal to 0. All these properties can be easily proved. So these are the properties of conjugate and modulus of a complex number. Here we have a few examples where we can use the conjugate of a modulus number. So here the question is express 1 by 3 plus 2i in the form of a plus ib. So here I am writing 1 by 3 plus 2i. As I already mentioned, the use of conjugate is to obtain a whole number in the denominator. So we can write 1 by 3 plus 2i. We can multiply and divide by its conjugate. So into the conjugate of 3 plus 2i is 3 minus 2i. So I am multiplying and dividing by 3 minus 2i. So this is equal to 3 minus 2i divided by 3 square minus 2i the whole square. Again this is equal to 3 minus 2i divided by 9 minus 4i square, which is equal to 3 minus 2i divided by 9 plus 4, because I is root of minus 1 and I square is minus 1. This 4 into minus 1 is plus 4. So we have 3 minus 2i by 13. So we can express 1 by 3 plus 2i in the form of a plus ib as 1 by 3 plus 2i is equal to 3 by 13 plus I into minus 2 by 13. I hope this was clear. The next question is find the modulus of 3 plus 4i. We know that the formula for mod z is square root of a square plus b square. Here our a is 3, so it is 3 square, and our b is 4 plus 4 square. So it is square root of 9 plus 16 square root of 25. It is equal to 5. It is not necessary that the modulus of a complex number we will always get We will always get a whole number. There are situations where we will get rational numbers also. Next, we will see the various powers of I. We already know I is equal to square root of -1. Then what is I square? I square is square root of -1 the whole square, which gives -1. Next, what is I cube? I cube is I square. I can write I cube as I raised to 2 plus 1. So it is I square into I. Here, from here we see I square is -1. So it is minus I. So I cube is equal to minus I. Next, we have I power 4. I power 4 can write as I square the whole square. It is -1 square and it is 1. Next, we have I power 5. I power 5, we can write I power 4 plus 1. It is I raised to 4 into I. I raised to 4 is 1. So I raised to 5 is I. Next, we have I raised to 6. I raised to 6, I can write I square the whole cube. I square we have -1. So -1 the whole cube is -1. So it goes on. So this is how we can find the various powers of I. Using the first value of I as square root of -1, we can proceed finding I square, I cube, I raised to 4, I raised to 5, I raised to 6 and so on. Now coming to the negative powers of I. Now what is I raised to -1? I raised to -1 is 1 divided by I. As we already know, we need not have a complex number in the denominator. So I'm multiplying and dividing by I. So I get I divided by I square. I square is -1. So I divided by -1 is minus I. So I raised to -1 is equal to 1 by I is equal to minus I. Next we have I raised to -2. It is 1 by I square and it is -1. Then we have I raised to -3. It is 1 by I raised to 3. Here it is 1 by I square into I. So here it is 1 by minus I. So we have plus I. So I raised to -3 is plus I. It is not minus I, it is plus I. Next we have I raised to -4. I raised to -4 is 1 by I raised to 4. So it is 1 by I square the whole square. It is equal to 1. So, and the process continues. This is how we can find the different powers of I, whether they are positive or negative. So, in general, for any integer k, we have these notations. I power 4k is equal to 1. I power 4k plus 1 is equal to I power 4k plus 2 is equal to -1. And I power 4k plus 3 is equal to minus I. This is in general for any integer k, we get these values for different powers of I. Now let us see a simple example. Here simplify I raised to -17. This I raised to -17, I am writing it as 1 by I raised to 17. 1 by I raised to 17, I am writing it as 1 by I raised to 16 plus 1, which is 1 by I raised to 16 into I. 1 by I raised to 16, we know it is 1 into I. So 1 by I, we know it is minus I. So I raised to minus 17 is equal to minus I. So this is how we can simplify a huge power of I into a simpler one. We can use this general formula, or we can remember all these different powers of I. The simple ones are, we have to remember mainly I is equal to root of minus 1, I square equal to minus 1, and 1 by I is equal to minus I. These are some of the important ones. If you remember these, the other things we can do automatically. I hope this video was helpful for you. In my next video, I'll be discussing about the algebra of complex numbers, which includes addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division of two complex numbers. Thank you for watching.